Why are your veneer cases failing, debonding, cracking, chipping? Like, what's going on? The answer may not be what you think it is, and so listen to the end of this video and I'll explain it to you. Most of us think the reasons that they're failing is because I've got something wrong with my bonding technique. Patient isn't compliant with their night guard. Take one more course to figure these things out. I'm telling you what the trick is for success in pretty much any procedure in dentistry is case selection. And what I mean by that is, what is the treatment indicated for the condition? That is the magic. That is why dentists that have a lot more experience are typically more successful with long-term results than dentists with less experience. It's because they know what's going to work, what's not going to work. Should I do the onlay or should I do a filling? Should I do a crown or should I do an onlay? Should these be minimal prep veneers or should these be crowns, or should they be 3/4 crowns or something in between? So the trick is the treatment that you're doing indicated for the condition that the patient has or for the goals that the patient wants to accomplish? Here's a prime example. When an amalgam filling is indicated, it can last decades, right? We've seen it. They last a long time. That's a filling. But can you do a composite filling on the same types of fillings that you could do amalgam for? Maybe, right? Sometimes you can have an amalgam that covers a cusp and it will still last for decades, but you can't do that with composite all the time. So composite isn't always indicated. That's the point. So when people are like, I want to do minimal prep veneers, okay, but you don't just do them and hope that they last. You do records and photos and you find out if the patient is eligible for minimal prep. And in many cases, the patients that I see, many of the teeth are no prep or minimal prep. And then there might be one or two that require a little bit more prep. I just did a case where I had to get 2 teeth numb because of the prepping that was required. And on the other 8 teeth, no prep was needed. Minimal prep was needed. No anesthesia for sure. So for minimal prep veneers, the things you have to evaluate are the teeth. They're typically actually boring before pictures. They really are. Generally, they're in good alignment, minor spacing, pretty stable occlusion, healthy enamel, a bite that isn't actively trying to destroy enamel or porcelain. They're generally not heavy grinders, but putting minimal prep veneers on teeth that procedure is not indicated, that's like putting a screen protector on a cracked phone and saying, problem solved. No prep veneers are predictable when the foundation is predictable. But when dentists treat no prep veneers like a marketing upgrade, like the express checkout lane in cosmetic dentistry, that's when you see over contouring, inflamed tissue, black triangles, trying to form a support group. You see the debonds. A lot of times the patients are just not happy, which is the worst of all of those. Here's the truth. The real skill isn't in placing the veneer, learning how to do that, or in the bonding technique. The real skill is sitting across from someone and saying, you're not a candidate. That can be very uncomfortable, but that is what I call clinical maturity. Most courses teach you how to prep, bond, and polish, but very few teach you how to say no. And saying no, it might say no in the short term to your wallet, but in the long term, you're going to gain trust and you're going to gain referrals. And who knows, that patient may end up doing minimal prep or a little more prep veneers because they trust you. That is the difference. So if you want to offer no prep veneers confidently and not cautiously, then comment no prep below or hit the link in my bio. I do have a course coming up in May, but I'm happy to talk to you about this stuff and send you a link if you're interested. Smile Doc out.